Hi there, it's Karen here, and today I'm going to be working on something a little different. Some of you have seen this before. I work on it just now and again. I haven't worked on it for quite a while. I think I've only shown it on camera maybe a couple of times, but it is a project that's been ongoing for quite a few years now. I will just give you a brief background to how this project came about, and for those of you who know all about this and have seen this before, I apologise, please feel free to jump ahead. But it started with this little book, which I started to work in just as my granddaughter was born in 2018. I was inspired by a lady called Adele from Inky Quill, that's her YouTube. Some of you will know of her. She's a very well-known scrapbooker and art journaler, and I used to watch her a lot in those days, and she did the 100-day project, writing letters to her son every day. She did 100 days of writing a letter to her son, and I loved the idea, especially as I was just about to become a grandmother. But I knew that trying to do it over in 100 days just wasn't feasible at all for me. So I did it myself because I knew I was visiting them every week for while Jenny was on maternity leave. I thought, well, I just turned it into the 50-week project. So it was once a week, a letter to Alyssa. Every time I visited her, I came home, I took photos, and did a little letter to her in this little book. And I completed all the 50 weeks. It was 52 weeks. It was a year, but I made it 50 weeks. And as it happened, there were a couple of weeks which I thought would happen when I couldn't visit them because I was on holiday or for whatever reason. So there were a couple of weeks that I had to miss. But I did complete the 50 weeks, and that took me right up to her birthday. So that was perfect. And I did complete the whole book. And then I thought, well, one of these days I'll give it to her. And it's got all these pictures of us together. And I thought it'd be a nice thing for her to keep. Well, then, of course, I got into junk journaling. This was well before I was even aware of junk journaling, really, only vaguely. When I started making my own journals, and I thought, well, this isn't really good enough. I didn't think it was a nice enough journal to give her. I mean, she's going to be about maybe 8 or before she's old enough to really appreciate it and enjoy it. So I thought I've got plenty of time. So then I thought, well, I'll make her a proper journal. So this is made, it's actually a 3 signature journal. I didn't do a hidden spine. I went right through. I covered it in with this really pretty pink fairy fabric and put lace around the spine so you can't see the stitching. So I did actually stitch in 3 signatures, all of the same length, just with ordinary plain white copy paper. And all I've done was tear the pages out one by one and put them into the journal. So it's literally transferring this book into this book, but then I've just decorated around it a bit, added lots of lace, lots of ruffles, just made it a much more of a tactile, enjoyable thing for her to have. But it's still got my original letters in it. Every day, every week that I visited her, I wrote her a little letter to say, you know, what a lovely day we'd had and what we'd done, and it kind of charts her progress of her first year and the things that she learnt to do. And it was a lovely thing to make, and I thought it'd be really nice to just keep working in it and gradually fill it with this from this little book, but adding some extra bits. So today I want to do the cover because I knew I wanted to do something more on here than just leave it as it is. And I knew what I wanted to call it, but I just didn't know how to transfer that onto here. But I did have some thoughts, and then I have done a bit of work on it behind the scenes, quite a while ago actually, and I thought I really must do that. I nearly did it, and I thought, well, no, I'll do that on camera because that's something that might be quite fun to watch me decorate the cover. So I don't know how long it'll take, whether we'll have time to do any work in the book afterwards, but I will briefly show you at least how far I've got, and we'll see if we can do some work in it as well. But I'm not at all confident that I'll have time to do that, knowing how long I take to do things. So the first thing I really want to do is put on a spine dangle. Do you remember me making the spine dangles with my wax seal cabochon things? And when I made this one, and I put the feather on, and I've actually glued it to the back of the cabochon so that it's permanent. So this little pink spine dangle, and I straight away thought it would be perfect on here, with the feather and the lace and the pretty ribbon and all of that. So I just thought it would be really nice to put it on the back of here, and that's another little tactile pretty element that would be nice to be on there. And what I want to use, I have used these a couple of times before, but I've never used them on screen. I've had them for ages. They're actually these, if you can see. I don't know if you can see it. I can hold it up to the camera there a bit. It's called, now let me see, it's a Tim Holtz, of course. He's called them ring fasteners, so you get them in a little pack like this. I think there's some are silver, some are more bronzy, so I'm going to use the silver one. And it's like a little brad, really. You make a hole, push the prongs through and open them at the back. And then you've got this ring, and I can, of course, hang my spine dangle from the ring. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've had a look, because ideally you'd have a bit of room at the top here to put your ring, but of course I haven't left enough room at the top to do that. So I just thought I might be able to squeeze it in between. If I can get the hole in the right place, I'll squeeze it in between here, and that should be okay, I think, because all you get is the prongs. So as long as I put the hole in the right place, fingers crossed, I should be okay. So I'm going to give that a go, poke my hole, and then I think I'll do it. So I want it fairly near the top, so I think about there, and right in the middle of that space, and I'm just going to push it through, right through. Oh, it's coming. Right, so I'm going to leave that for the moment, and I've got to straighten my prongs so that they go through the hole. That could be the tricky part, because once you've opened a brad, it's not always easy to get the pieces to go back together, if you see what I mean. I'm going to leave my little pokey tool in there because I think the hole will be difficult to see once I remove it. So yeah, I'm just trying to bring these two pieces together so I can get them through the hole. And of course, once you bring them together, the little circle is trying to slide off. We don't want that to happen. So I'm hoping I'll be able to feed the prongs through now. So I might make the hole bigger from the other side. It's a bit like sewing in the signature, isn't it? Trying to get the hole so it's visible and you can get your needle through. This time I need to get my brad through. Okay, let's just try and hold it in place. See if I can get my prongs through, because they don't really want to stay together. Super fiddly. This is the most fiddly part of the whole operation of what I want to do today. So it's probably a good idea to do it first. See if I can do it this way. It's just so short, it's quite hard to push it through. Oh, has it gone? I think it has. Whoa, yes we have, we've gone through. I'm just going to turn them because obviously they're facing the wrong way. I need to face the other way so I can open them up and down, not across. Let's try to get them to turn. Maybe I can do it from the other side. That's it. Okay. Just turn my little that way. And I think we've got it. There we are. Oh, it's flattened. There we go. And then we've got a little ring. I mean, it's not completely central. It's not as central as I would have liked, but that's because there's a whole signature right in the middle, so it's just not going to be possible. So I thought it's better to have it slightly nearer the front than the back. So I will put it on just so you can see how it looks, but then I'll take it off while I work on the rest of the cover. So we'll just feed that through. I might even change the ball pin to silver, just because it will match better with the spine dangle, but there we are. It's on there like that. So I think it might need to be put on slightly differently so that it angles front ways, but I can fiddle with that to make sure it angles around the front rather than towards the back. But there we are, that's the little spine dangle. So I'm going to take that off for now and then do some work on the front. And then we'll try and get that on how we like it afterwards. So yeah, so there's my little, what do they call it again? I can never remember what these called. Ring fastener. That's a ring fastener, so if you want something to hang a dingle dangle from on your spine, that's quite a good thing to use. You just have to try and remember to leave yourself some space to put the brad through. Alright, so now on the front, what I've decided I want to do, I wanted to call this Letters to Lissy, because that's what they are, and that's our nickname for her. Although a lot of the time I hear her mother going, Alyssa Jane, because she's quite a pickle, and she gets Alyssa Janed quite a lot these days. So I've got this piece of acetate because I want to make sure I protect it. And I made this little frame. It's just a die that I used, and I die cut this piece of lilac card to fit round like that. But I want to stick this piece of acetate to the back of it. And this was just a piece of packaging. It's quite thick. It was one of those, you know, the packs of die cuts that you get attached to the back of a card, like you often get with Tim Holtz as well. You get the card and you get a piece of plastic over the top to hold everything in. And that's all this was. And I just cut, it had a little rim. So I cut that off so it was nice and flat. Because I couldn't find, I had some acetate knocking around, but I couldn't find it. So I just used one of my packages. And I'm just going to glue it to the back of that. So I'm going to do that first. Just cut it down, I think. Cut it about there. I want to make sure it's big enough. Gosh, it's hard to see because it's clear. You can lose sight of it. Even when you're holding it, you can sometimes lose sight of it. So it's just about right there. And I need to make it just a little bit smaller than the height of the frame, so it fits inside the frame. There. That's easy to seal with the black behind it. Right, so I'm just going to put some glue. I think I might just trim it off just a touch more at the end. It's right up to the edge. I was just worried I'd end up making it too small, and it would show, or it wouldn't completely cover the aperture, but it does. So I'm just going to put some glue around the edge of the frame. Put my get my hot glitter glue. Hope it's going to work. Okay, let's try that. Squish it that way a little bit. And sort of stroke it outwards towards the outer edge so it doesn't mark the inner side. Okay, and then just make sure this is clean. See a little bit of glue there. and then I'll just stick that on the inside and then on there. So I will just put some glue right around the edge of the card. If I right. It's quite difficult to find, to get this in this little aperture because the Y's kept disappearing, kept being too low. This one's a little low, but never mind, it's clear enough what it says. Okay, so that will go on the front of here, and then I wasn't sure whether to add a bit of lace. Doesn't need to be too much, but I thought I'd like a little piece, or I might just try a little piece. And it has to be white. This is very much a white based thing. So I think I'm just going to cut a piece down of this. I think it's an old curtain that I bought from a charity shop, net curtain. And I think I'm just going to cut a piece down. So I really don't need very much, I just need it poking out. But I wanted a little bit, maybe a little bit of the design to show above, maybe. It's fairly see-through, this lace, so I don't want to lose the background. Let's see. It's upside down. It's hard to tell. Don't know if there's only one way better than the other, actually. It's hard to say. Yeah, I think that just needs straightening out. That piece isn't quite straight. I don't really want it going into that lace. Trim this down a little bit more this side, I think. So I'm hiding all my little, well, not all of them, but some of the little fairies from the fabric. I think I'm just going to trim it down just a touch more. Isn't straight for a start. It's too much. I literally just want a little background. Okay, that will do for now. So I've got my little title. I'm just going to move the whole thing up a little bit more. little fairy looks like she's putting fairy dust over, over my title. Now the other thing I wanted to put on here, I have some fairies. I had some fairy dies that I bought when I was doing my fairy journal. And as this fabric has got fairies on it, I've been die cutting fairies. And I have 3. And I don't think I'm going to use them all, because obviously it's far too many. So I've got one in this, it's like a satin card. It's got a shine to it in the lilac that matches the frame. And that one I have just glittered on the wings, a little bit on her head, bottom of her dress, and her shoes. Now for that I have used, where is it? This Cosmic Shimmer, Cosmic Twinkles it's called, Aurora Twinkles. So it's very clear, it's like a clear glitter glue really. So I've used that on that one. And then the first one I did was this one, and I covered this one with glossy accents first of all, which is all I planned to do when I started doing it, just to make it shiny, because I wanted them to have a little bit of protection if they were going to go on the cover. And then when I'd done it, I thought, oh, I wonder what it would look like to sprinkle some glitter in it. So I did. I just got a little pot of glitter, which very fine glitter, silver glitter, and just sprinkled it. So you've now got very shiny, very sparkly fairy. And then this one I thought, well, I was going to cover this one with Mod Podge to see if that, and then maybe add some glitter after that. But I couldn't open it. It was so stuck. And Richard's gone to work today, so I couldn't ask him to open it. And I couldn't open it, so I had another route round, and I found this stuff, which I've had for years. It's called Smooch. Frosted top coat. No, not frosted, pearlized top coat it is. So it's got a slight shine to it, and it has a slight, very, very faint glitter to it. I don't even know if you can see that. So it's not quite as sparkly as the others. I could add more sparkle, because I'm wondering if this is actually a bit too much. It's a bit too sparkly, this one. I'm not sure. So I'm thinking I could add some sparkle to that one. And of course I've got this one as well, which matches really well with the background of the frame. So I wonder whether to put one up here, like that, and then another one down here, I think. But I think she needs a little more sparkle. I think I need to do the same to her as I've done to this one with the Cosmic Shimmer Twinkles. Because I think this one is just, I don't know, can you ever be too glittery with a little girl who's very, very girly? Loves all things pink and glittery, so maybe this is perfect. Well, by the time she's, I don't know, 8, whatever age I end up giving this to her, of course she might be a different child altogether. Sometimes they suddenly become tomboys when they've been really girly the year before. So it's always a risk, isn't it? But certainly one of these two is going to go on here. And I thought if I make this a bit more glittery, it might be a bit better on here. We'll see. So that's that. The other thing I was thinking I might put on here, but I don't know. I have this little cluster, and it was actually a little piece off the end of the, I think it's this fabric, it's actually on the selvage, and it just says fairies and rainbows, and I thought, well, that's kind of perfect. So I could almost put that there. Or put it down here with another piece of lace behind it. Where's my lace? It's not quite big enough. Just wondering. Let's have another piece of lace down here. See how that looks. that down there maybe. Have our little fairy. Fairies and rainbows. Got to be really careful to make sure this is glued down well, because otherwise it'll catch and tear. This one at least has got the glossy accents, which might protect it. Makes it quite sturdy actually, so maybe I should use that one. This one up here. How's it looking? Is it looking too much now? The other thing I was going to do is put a little bit of glitter on here actually. Maybe I'll do that after I've stuck it on so that I can see where it should go and leave it to dry. It's a shame the fairies and rainbows bit's not here, isn't it? Unless I do that there and put this up the top. Could do that. That might work better, maybe. Let's try it without the extra lace. That there. Put her up there. And her across the end of the cluster there. That might work better, mightn't it? Still not sure if this takes away from the heading too much, whether I need to put it down there anyway. Decision. Okay. Difficult decision. I think what I might just do, I think I can glue this on first, because I know that's where I want it. And I think I do want the bit of lace. I think it's not, it needs just another little trim up along the side here. It's not, it's a bit sticking out that I don't like. It's one of those things you keep trimming and trimming and it's never quite straight. Which probably doesn't matter anyway. Right, I am going to, I need my little mat, I think. Have I got that handy? My little glue mat. Okay, this is my craft mat. Right, because I'm going to put some Fabri-Tac on here. Whoop. Sorry about my arm. Didn't get the Fabri-Tac handy, did I? Wasn't really thinking about that. Should have done. If you're gluing onto fabric, you really need your Fabri-Tac. Make sure I've got this round the right way. Right. Not going to be too high there. Let's have a look. Maybe I need to bring it down just a bit. Right. Okay. So I've literally just put the glue behind the frame and across the middle, but not so much on the lacy bits. I may still glue them down afterwards, not sure. It's nice to have them a little bit flappy, and gluing down the fairies will hold it down as well. So I'm going to glue that one down next. I think that works best. Have that one up there and that one down here. So wherever I end up putting this, put it right there or right at the bottom. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to glue this one on because I know where I want that one to go. When the Fabri-Tac decides to work, it really goes for it, doesn't it? Spilling out everywhere. Right, to be careful now because I don't want it all over the wings too much. Just want tiny dabs. Right. Ooh. Got a little bit of seepage of the glue. I think I can get it because it's going on to the acetate, so I might be able to just wipe it off here. So we can get it, make sure it's stuck down at all the ends. We don't want this to keep catching and tearing. I think we're okay. I'm just wondering where I need more glitter on here now. She's got a shine to her. Wondering where to put glitter everywhere else. I've just stuck to certain places. I suppose I could add it afterwards if I decide I need to. Now I have got to decide where I want fairies and rainbows. I want it here. That needs to go there. Not too close. Don't want to cover up the letters. One thing, I need to straighten up this lace. It's bugging me. I think what I'm missing is a little bit of bling or something on that snippet, so it doesn't tie in with everything else. It looks too plain. So I think I might put something on there as well. But I could just pop her there. And then I think I will put that down there. Because Fairies and Rainbows kind of works as for the journal anyway, doesn't it? Certainly works for the cover. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to put that on the front and then add something a little bit blingy, I think, just a little bit onto there to tie all the glitter and stuff in. Okay. And we'll put some more Fabri-Tac on here. I'm covering up another one of my fairies. It's a shame. Right. And then I'll put that there. Oops. And some little bits of Fabri-Tac on her as well. Okay. Give it little strands. Alright. Just want the wing to go on there. That's it. And her foot just goes onto here. There we are. Now I have got I've got some little bits of some jewels and some sequins and things. And I do have, I wonder if I can use my little tool that Rhonda sent me to pick up these jewels. They might be a bit heavy. Oh, there's one. Another one. Another one. Possibly 3. And they're lilac. So they might just go nicely with everything else, but bring a little bit of bling down to the not that one. A little bit of bling down to the little snippet here. And the colour also, bring that bit of lilac onto here too, because I haven't got any lilac in the fabric. So there. Or do I put them up here? Try different positions. See see where they look best. Feels like it needs a little something here, but I don't know what. It's in the right place for the bling. I'm going to see how it balances. Just looked a bit bare over this side. Yeah, I think I'll put them there. Ugh. This is just going everywhere. Oh gosh, look at that blob. It's just out of control at the moment. And there. There is so much glue on this wipe that I actually can't get it off my hand. These are my gluey tweezers. The other ones I've managed to keep from getting too gluey. I don't want to get them as messy as these ones. Oh my goodness, look at the blob of that. It's ridiculous. Right, I really need to put the top on this before it goes everywhere, or even more everywhere than it already has. Ugh. It's horrible. It's such a mess. Right. I think there's enough on here to hold those in place. Right, so I think that's my cover done. I'm quite pleased with that. I just cheers it all up, brings the fairies and a bit of sparkle. Might put a bit more. Do I need to put any more sparkle on there? Don't know yet. I'll think about that. But in the meantime, I want to sort out my spine dangle. And I think, oh no, I don't know. I've got to get some of the glue off my fingers, otherwise I won't be able to touch that thing. I want to use a silver bulb pin instead of the kind of brassy coloured one that I've got. So just take these bits off. And feed them onto here. That's gone through. And then I put my little pink tassel. And then I put my feathery cabochon. And put it through here. Where's it gone? Oh, it didn't do up. There we are. That's my little spine dangle. I don't know if you can see. There we are. It's lying like that. You see that? It's more effective when it's upright. It's hard to see it. But there we are. And that's my cover done. So I think that's all I'm going to have time for today. Took rather a while, I know. But I just wanted to get it right. You can do so much preparation, but when you come to actually putting it together, it sometimes ends up looking different to how you thought. So yeah, I'm happy with that now. And I'll show you quickly what's inside. So I've just covered up her surname, you don't need to see that. So this is a weekly record, and I've just put the date on each one. And as we go through, I've added lace. Some of it I've shown before. Little ruffle here. And some more lacy bits. I've just put backgrounds on. Whatever I've used to decorate the actual page with on the day, I've tried to use something similar in the background just to enhance it a bit more. So this was all yellows, so I've added more yellow bits around it and just try to make it look more of the same kind of thing. Because I don't want the background to dominate, I want this still to be the bit that you see. So I've used stencils and stamps and obviously lots of bits of fabric and lace. And more stamping in the background. And this is as far as I've got. So this is week 17, I've marked it here, week 17. So yeah, got quite a long way to go. I might do a little bit in my next video. I'm kind of on a roll now, so I want to do a little bit more in here. So I might just do a couple more pages on video, on camera, and then we'll get back to doing some more journaling. I've actually got a new journal I want to start as well. I know, when I start, I really can't stop. So I might do that in the next video. I'm going to be jumping around a bit. So I will definitely be coming back to my boho journal. Of course I will. I love doing that. But I like to mix things up, as I've said before, and do different things. Otherwise it can be boring for you, and it can get a bit boring for me, just do the same thing all the time. So yeah, I'm going to start my new journal. It's not going to be in the same format as other journals, and I'll explain why when I start doing it. You'll see what I mean. But it is going to involve quite a challenge for me, because I'm going to do a hidden spine. another scary thing. So so we'll see how that goes. But I think the next video I will just do a little bit more work in here just to get that going a bit more, and then we'll move on. All right, thank you so much for joining me today, and do join me again soon. Bye for now.